Welcome to the Peninsula Report Munter Fridays. I am your host Mommy, and if you were expecting Hank, then you and go fuck yourself, because that nasty little creature was too busy masturbating the kettle this morning, so he was burned, and rightly so. Do you think I'm a bad mommy? I know I am not a bad mommy, and I will do anything for my kids, even kill them if they feel down in the cunts. A noodle was arrested last night after it was reportedly unable to absorb the juices of its dish in a Chinese restaurant. The owner of the restaurant said that where he is from, if a noodle doesn't absorb the juices of the dish, then it is punishable by death, and I am guessing he lives in crazy land. A Dutch computer was arrested last night after it was involved in a terrific brawl that landed Pussy McIntyre in hospital. Pussy McIntyre was allegedly murdered by one of the staff members who heard about the fight it had with the Dutch computer and went into the room Pussy was in and then let the life drain from Pussy McIntyre. If Pussy McIntyre was smart enough, she would have stayed at Mommy Regional, and we do have our brand of hospitals in every country, even the countries that hospitals are illegal in, cause we care, take care. Pussy whore. An asshole was granted mayorship of a local town late last night. This all took place after a secret meeting. This asshole was granted 3 wishes, and one of those wishes was for it to become mayor, and so it did. It being the most ugliest, wretched mayor the town had ever seen. It swindled business owners out of millions and made all the shops redundant. Just like Hank, the mayor was hoisted up in the town square and shot multiple times in the head. Then he was unhoisted and roasted on a spit like the ugly pig he was. UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly, yeah, you ugly oi guy ain't mine. He ain't got a mighty penis, a big penis that he ain't got. A kitchen appliance was stolen in the early hours of this morning. When I first saw this report, I thought Hank was being a cunt again, but then slowly started to realize the only cunt that could do this is Brenda Mingley. I do not like her. We have no resolved or differences, and I still think what she deserves is death, and I don't care. I seriously don't care. If I cared, I wouldn't be talking about it, would it? A slut was detained by the local priest this morning after the slut came calling and asked for a spanking. The priest invited the little slut in and tied it up and beat the living shit out of it and left it there to rot on the chair. The slut got free, as most of them do, and the priest was livid because he wanted to rape the little slut, but the slut got away. All sluts get away, just ask your brother. A cow was murdered in the slums of India after it pissed in all the curry for the locals. It was hoisted up in midair and burned, and they had a beef curry. The president of India heard about this and traveled all the way to the slum and took everyone who ate the cow meat out and punched them in the second face and set them on fire and then ate them. Yeah, the third degree. A mother fucker was abused by the local fucker for failing to show up for court on time. The mother fucker was charged with indecent exposure and was fined $60 or face persecution. Persecution is what this mother fucker got because he failed to show up at court and was persecuted by the local fucker. A whore was damaged on the way home from riding in the hills of music. The whore was found unconscious on the floor, screaming, "Gimme, gimme more." A seriously ugly munter found the whore just laying there on the ground and picked it up and brought it to the local vet. A passenger in the car noted a foul odor coming from the unconscious whore, but only discovered after a while that it was indeed coming from the person who noted this scent, and it made him look as foolish as a horse burger in the middle of Ascot. The pensioner was found floating around the wild streets of New England. The pensioner was trying out a new technology called pissonism, that is all.